Welcome to episode 2 of The Ascended Thread. I'm Andrea Clem. I'm so happy to have you back with us today.
And I'm Dana Swazo with One Thread Healing, and we have a special guest speaker today, our friend Danny Parizek. And he's a spiritual practitioner, facilitator, and teacher devoted to personal transformation, embodied healing, and conscious community as the founder of Liquid Lighted Love. And Danny, I know you're a licensed practitioner of truth and a member of the Agape International Spiritual Center under the direction of Dr. Michael Bernard Beckwith. Can you tell us a little bit about what that means or what that is for you and what you all specialize in?
Yeah, absolutely. So, being a licensed practitioner of truth, I am a practitioner that speaks and comes from the aspect of spirit. And spirit, to me, is our cellular expression that there's nothing, I'm already lost for words, but we're never hurt, harmed, or endangered from that aspect of life. And that we have come down in these human forms to basically walk ourselves back home. And what I mean by back home is into the truth of who and whose we really are. And who and whose we really are is an aspect of the divine. It can be called by an infinite number of names, but it's that ineffable, undescribable, unknowable, beneficial presence that is everywhere present in its fullness. And when I come from that aspect, I can see through anything and be a lover of love, a joyous, harmonious kind of being. And so, with people that sit in front of me, we're able to see through condition, we can see through circumstance to allow the unfoldment, to the unfurling of who and whose we've come to be. We're really lighted beings. And this light so shines forth that even when we're walking in our darkness, we're shining a light for our own greatest yet to be.
Right. And do you want to share how you kind of got to where you are, how you opened to your awareness, or how you started your
Absolutely.
path? Yeah.
So, Reverend Michael speaks of this a lot. We're either pushed by pain or we're pulled by a vision. And this is what I see it as is a bandwidth. We can be sitting in pain and it's pushing us towards who we really are until we start listening to the ineffable, listening to spirit, and allowing ourselves to be guided in every step of the way. So, how I found Agape International was through this. I was a person that was addicted, addicted to drugs, addicted to sex, a lot of things that I was not proud of. And in this wanting to release the addictions and wanting to be more of who I wanted to be. And this was just innate, even in the midst of all the things that I was seeing as I'm not good enough. People can't see me rightly. I can't show my light. I ended up at Agape um, one Sunday, and Reverend Michael was up on the pulpit, and I was sitting in the back. I was with my somatic therapist that was supporting me in just wa- releasing any need for anything outside of myself, drugs. And I sat there and I listened to Reverend Michael, and it felt back then, I felt I was telling him what to say, and he was saying it right back to me. So this reflective consciousness that the universe is providing for us. What I do know now is that truth pierces through any veil, anything, any shadow that we may be thinking that we are. Truth can hit us and it can reflect back who we truly are. And in that moment, I was like, this is the best high ever. And this is what I'm really interested in. And now I realize it's not even a high, it's a state of being. So I went on a very long journey. I found Agape in 2012, and I started going on a journey. And very early on, I lost my beloved, my partner of 14 years. And I didn't lose him per se because I was having mystical experiences because of the pain of his loss and me not really clear. I was hearing spirit, I was hearing him as an ascended being. I was being guided. So I started leaning into these teachings that the truth is that God is all there is, and that I am a part of what this God presence is. And that as I continue to grow and unfold and allow more of who I am, which is talked about in the quantum of increasing frequency, then I was able to heal myself within the truth teachings that Agape provided. Now, truth is out there everywhere in all the modalities and all the religions, and then it does sometimes get covered. So it is truly about listening to myself and listening for the truth of who I am. That everything is for me, there is nothing against me. That love is all there is, and that this love is always present and it's what I can lean into. So when I know that the only activity is that's really going on is spirit, God, energy, whatever we want to call that undescribable presence that we can definitely know that we're a part of, then healing gets to begin. And so I dove deep and I went into the Agape teachings. I learned as much as I could. I learned how to pray from a technology that is affirmative and is transforming, even just with words of truth that not only heals myself, but everyone around me.
So I know you're a spiritual teacher, counselor, everything and all of that. And I was on my way here, and one of my friends from high school, she listened to our first podcast, and she was like, I didn't know like a leaf has an aura. And I'm like, well, everything's energy. And so how, when new people come to you, new clients, how do you in layman terms explain to them how everything is energy and what that means? Do you want to speak into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we existed before we came into this body. And so we can call that a soul agreement of all the things that we get to play into this plane of existence. So, what I know about energy is that everything it is. So, if God is all that there is and it's unchangeable, it cannot be denied, it will, it works benevolently through us if we allow it to be. So, energy is just another name for God. So, energy for me is here we compress and compress and compress and compress, and we come into form. So, when I say everything, I'm thinking God. Is the equal sign, energy is God. So, everything is God, and I am a part of that in this body and in this mind, uniquely individualized as God getting to be expressed. And when I started embodying that and shifting the thoughts of lack, shifting the thoughts of I'm not enough, shifting the thoughts that I'm not here to on purpose, all of that shift was because I'm listening to and reprogramming and letting an old pattern be let go to more of the truth that I am. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
So this energy, we compress it. We compress it, we compress it, we compress it. And then at some point, we'll start realizing, oh, God is everywhere. Energy is everywhere. It's moving through, in, and as me. And then there's these aspects of me that we can call ascended masters or descended masters. We can call the angelic realm. All of that, those are aspects of who I am. And yet they are a bandwidth of energy that when I choose to raise my energy, meaning increase my frequency through a surrendered practice of prayer, meditation, breath, contemplation, just opening myself up, then I am walking as a beneficial presence. I'm not trying to take anything. What I am is I'm giving of myself, and in that process anything that comes to my awareness in this plane of existence, whether it's a brother or a friend or a challenge situation of the government or whatever I want to think is something that may be against me, I remember the truth that this is for me and that I am empowered because there is only one power here. And so then I can start seeing it in my clients. I get to see it in the healing works, in the aspects of what I choose to do. And it's much more, I use the word surrender. So it's just an opening, an allowing, an availability to silence the mind, the cardinal mind, the ego, to allow the truth of who I am to land and then to come out and radiate into this plane. I hope I'm not talking over any of the audience members' heads. But
No,
I see you both nodding.
yeah, no, to me, it sounds like it's really changed the way that you view everything and the way that you interact with life, and you interact with life on a much more elevated plane now at a higher energy, and you can see the beauty in so much, even when it might be rough things, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that you talk about the rough things. One of my other a practitioner that I see, Kim Stanwood Terranova, talks about it as polishing your pearl. So
Mm.
those rough spots are the sand inside the clam that is polishing this perfectly round, beautiful um, pearl.
Right.
And that pearl is reflective and light and beautiful, and it takes these moments of challenge, these moments of I don't know how I'm going to get through this, that allows us to go, oh, well, I just made it through. So, what I want to really say is that when we allow these challenging moments in, and that we have a practice that allows us to just be in gratitude for whatever comes our way, there is so much good that happens in my life. And there's a realization that this lightedness that I am, this God presence that I am, is right here, right now. And it's always revealing itself, and it's through me. So I know both of you and we've had personal conversations of things that I am growing through, and you're holding space for me to talk about that. That's what we're here to do. We're here to love each other unconditionally and go, I see you. I have so much compassion. And if I'm in a lower frequency of like, whoa, always me, or victims, this is happening to me, someone gets to see me going, no, I see you rightly. I'll let you have this for a moment. And what I'll tell you the truth is your love.
Right.
You've got this.
Exactly. Exactly. I know you're also a breath work practitioner and sound bowl practitioner. Do you want to speak into that at all, or?
Of course. I appreciate the invitation. These are two things that I do on a weekly basis at a beautiful center in Lafayette called Rocky Mountain Pilates and Yoga. It's it's under the umbrella of Silo's Wellness Center. And this is just another gift that I have come to know. With sound bath, it's one of the easiest ways to meditate. It's an easy way to bring somebody into more of who they are. And the more of who they are is the invisible part of them. And so when they don't even realize that, but they have a sense of expansiveness using the sound waves to move through the body temple to expand beyond the body, that is what meditation is. So I have people that come to do breath work and then they do sound bath. And so I just talked a little bit about sound bath, but breath, it's the breath of life. If we weren't breathing, we would not be in this plane. And this plane is to celebrate who we really came to be. And so with breath, there's an availability to move out of fight or flight, freeze, and appease to a state of I'm okay. I'm perfect, whole, and complete. And in that breath work, what happens is there is an availability to do a whole bunch of work on ourselves in the moment. So when we're breathing through the breath practices that I teach, we are allowing any perceived stuck energy or gunk or whatever we want to call that stuck energy to have a space of awareness. So we're the witness of what we're breathing through. So sometimes we have a hard time breathing. A lot of people breathe from up above here. So I get them down lower into their belly, their wisdom center, and we start breathing from there. And then we start running a rhythm with music that allows space of any stuck energy to reveal itself. And in that stuck energy, we don't have to drill back to our 5-year-old self when we were abused by our uncle or whatever. We can actually take this energy and send it love. And sending it love is breathing through it. Does that make sense at all?
It does.
Yes,
It
yes.
does.
I bet, do you have people there that are surprised at different things that do come up during a session, whether it's emotions or physical feelings and all of that?
Absolutely. And I I even speak into it before. It's always nice to give the brain a little bit of information before you go into a practice like this. So
Sure.
I do let them know it's like any of these pains that you may be feeling during breath work, they're for you. Breathe.
Right.
Any of the story writing that is happening through the egoic structure, any revelations that are coming through to be transmuted, let them have space. You have a safe place here, and the invitation always is go back to your breath. Be the witness consciousness of what's running through the body temple and running through the thought process, the mind, the ego. These are all on purpose. That's why you hear so often it's mind, body, spirit. When we realize that everything is spirit and this light that's coming in to have an amazing experience, we become the star of our own movie. And when we become the star of our own movie, we realize that everything is coming through us out into this experience. So breath work, as you it's very elevating, it's very freeing. It puts us in a vibration of healing, of letting go of anything that no longer serves, and then we also can call back like, whoa, I'm in bliss, I'm giggling, or I'm crying, and this is hurts. But in that safe place of release, we let crying, we let yawning, we let laughing, all to be okay. And in that, we leave our practice, our breath practice, and we walk new. And that's what we're always doing. We're just pulling back the veils so we know who we truly are. And it's not lost on me that we have chosen to come at this time in human history to fully be orbed in our light as we watch the perceived outside world go nuts. And when I say go nuts, there's a lot of things that, God, I wish it would be different. And inside of me, it says, well, God, let me look inside myself and see how I can accept maybe not agree, but I can accept that. And whatever is up for me in the moment, I get to work with that. It's for me. If
Right.
I'm attached to the outside world, if I'm attached to the news, if I'm attached to social media, those aspects are outside of me. So they're just bringing something back for me to look at. And that's where a lot of us, we like to live in denial. We like to live in our victimhood. We like to live in our protective personality. And when we live there, we're not allowing who we really are to shine. But when we catch those moments, and I still have them on the daily, but I can catch them and I can go, I'm coming right here, right now, and I'm willing to have this.
Yeah. I have one quick question because it's popping in, so I'm like, oh, maybe it's for somebody in the audience that needs to hear it. So people who do always breathe from here, do you find that like it can create like illnesses like asthma or or they have trouble breathing or a lot of times are in like short of breath mode or just because of probably like you said the stuck energy. And do you find as people do breath work with you for after time that they get out of that
Mm.
mode all the time? I'm
Abs-
just curious. For some reason
Absolutely.
it's popping in, so it must be a reason I'm asking.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's always fun to check in, how am I breathing in this moment? There's so much of our day that we don't even think about our breath. And
Correct.
and so when we do put our consciousness, our witness, our observer onto our breath, we're breathing in life and then we're exhaling life. So yes, when we're breathing up here, we're breathing from fight or flight. So there's a simple breath work. We can do this one really quick for everybody. If we
Yeah, that'd be
if
great.
we you can do it eyes open, eyes closed, but if you're noticing there's a lot of phonetic energy and the outside world is getting a lot and you're feeling up here, what if you take so I want you to take a deep breath and count in for 4 and then exhale for 6. You may find it challenging at first, but I want you to do it 2 more times with me. Breathe in for 4, out for 6. Breathe in for 4 and out for 6. So that simple breath, if you can take that with you at any moment for any time of the day to check in where you're at, if you notice, what are you noticing inside yourself right now, you guys?
I feel so much more connected and in my body and calm and just much more present in the moment.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Lighter and freer. Yeah. I would agree with all that and just
Mhm.
like a little bit like free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing. Another just slight little add is that when you breathe out, if you breathe out through your nose and you you know how when you like ah, when we allow ourselves to hear our breath, that's another energy. That's a sound that spirit is bringing through this temple that we call our body. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So
Yeah.
give yourself permission to like Ah, feel it come through your nose and come out your mouth. There's so many different ways to breathe. And when we become very conscious of our breathing, then we can do different patterning. And that's what we do at my breath classes is that I don't teach the same breath, same recipe every time. We do have a base, and then there's places to play with our breath. So when we're breathing up here, there's an analytical mind in our brain, and you just sort of think of it as a trap door, and when it's shut, survival, survival,
Yeah.
survival. And when we go, the trapdoor opens, the subconscious mind can rise to conscious. You're more in your body, you feel free. All the things that you have just described gets to happen through a simple breath practice. So when we first start breathing and we start putting consciousness to it, just know that it's for us. It's a practice. It's a forever everyday invite, and that we can settle our systems in a moment just by one conscious breath.
Yes. Well, thank you. We
Yeah.
appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, thank you, because this is just really bringing that attention to this tool that we always have with us and can
Yes.
use to change the dynamic of everything in an instant, like you said. So
Absolutely.
thank you for sharing
And
all
if
of this.
if people want to get in contact with you, what's your preference? Is it your website? Is it your email? Is it,
Yeah.
contact with you? What's your preference? Because I know everyone has a different preference.
Well, the best way is, if you're super interested, email me at liquid lighted love. That's LIQUIDLIGHTED at gmail.com. You can also go to my website and see all the things that I offer, who I am, the little story around how I became a little bit, let me just say, I'm always awakening. And
Yeah.
that's DannyParizek.com. So that's DANNY, P as in Paul, ARIZEK.com. And you can also email me through that website too.
And we will
Okay.
put that in the comments when we post this
Yeah,
session. We will
absolutely.
put all your information in there for everyone to see.
Yeah, and both of us can attest that Danny is just an amazing human, an amazing being, and a wonderful person to work with. So I'm glad you were our inaugural guest.
Yes.
It means so much to both Dana and I. So thank you for sharing yourself with everybody today.
Yes, we
Thank you. Thank
appreciate
you.
your doing the opening ceremony of our podcast as our first guest, because I know you are invited to a lot of different podcasts. So I'm grateful you were willing to come to our little fun but yet informative podcast.
And it's big fun to be with you guys in presence. And I just want to express great, great gratitude. I see the benevolent presence that is radiating through each of you, and how wonderful it is to know that your light is shifting the world. So thank you for taking on this adventure, and really sharing from your heart space. And so thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the invite. I can't I can already feel the success of it. So
Thank you.
keep
Oh,
going, as my mom always
I
says. Keep
know.
going.
Yes.
well, thank you so much, love. Thank you, my friend. And thank you all for tuning in with us today. And keep on checking back in. We'll have more episodes here soon. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thank you.